Hi guys, welcome to my channel. So today is yet another story time, and this story time is about paranormal activity. Keep in mind, I've had paranormal activity experiences for like 3 times, but I'm going to tell you about this one experience. So this goes back to 2017 when I was 19. So I was at my uncle's house with my sister. It's in December, and then my other 2 guy cousins decided they're gonna come visit. One of them, which is S, decides that he's gonna sleep, and then the X decides that he's going to just visit and then leave later. So they come maybe like late 12 o'clock going to 2 o'clock, do you understand, during the day, in the afternoon. So my uncle is watching TV, he's watching soccer, so we decided, let's not chill in the house. As much as Jesper can chill in the room, it's like hot, and like it would be better to just chill outside. It's a beautiful day, so we chill outside, and by the way, when they came with 2 of their friends. I think it was 2, but I'm not really sure. May have been 1. But one of their friends' name, let me give him a name. His name is Trick. So they're here. So we are chilling outside, and my sister keeps on going inside the house, maybe to fetch water or juice or something for us to eat. And then I go in as well, maybe to pee. All of us just go in the house every time we need to go in, And then we're talking, obviously. And then as we're talking, I'm like to my cousins, guys, have you ever heard of this trend here in PE? Because there was this trend most of people installing Amakhosi or Amakhosi, that's what they would call them. And apparently these were demons. Later on I found out, but they believed that these things would help them out, like they would protect them and stuff like that. So I asked my cousins, guys, do you guys know of this trend? Like kids are doing this, like it's popular amongst the youngsters, the teenagers. Some of them would even install belts, and it's called amabandi. And these things would give them strength to be able to fight. There's this trend, man, of people doing these things though. So I'm like, I feel like it's crazy because you don't know like what this is actually doing for you. What if it's not helping you? Instead, it's doing bad, Okay, solid divine. Guys, I'm not really an alcohol person, but in the PUS, so I'm gonna sip on this as I continue. I leave a puff. Okay. So, as I was saying again, Dicho with cousins, and then I can see the ex-cousin is looking at me. You know when you're looking at someone and you're just trying to see where they're going with this, but also he, now that I'm looking back, was looking at me with a face of something that he knew, and that's why he was giving me that eye. Okay, so he replies and he's like, actually I have them. And I'm like, you have what? He's like, Amakhosi. And I'm like, what? Where did you install this? He's like, back where he's from in the world, And I'm like, but why would you do this? And then he's like, because it will help me. He even says that it whispers answers in his head when he writes exams. It helps him, it protects him. And I'm like, but man is like apparently, I don't know if apparently he was the smart one, so I don't know. Oh, both of them installed it, and then I discovered the other one also installed it. The S cousin also installed it, and he's also like, yeah, I have it. No. But then because my uncle was watching soccer, he would go in and out of the house to check the score. But he's also a part of the conversation, But the ex cousin is the one I'm like engaged with, So then he's like, yeah, they help us out as well. So I'm like, how do you install it? He included something about a liver that is raw that you eat from a chicken. I'm not sure, guys. And then he also included alcohol, and that's how these things are installed. I'm not sure. I'm not a jazz, but that's what he said, yeah. So I'm like, oh, okay. And then he's like, that's how they installed it. And then I'm like, but one of my cousin was actually struggling with school. So I'm like, but it seems like it's not really helping us if my cousin is struggling with school. Yeah, what? So they're like, ex-cousin is like, do you want to see it? I'm like, see what? He's like, see it. Like, do you want to speak to it? And then I'm like, thinking to myself, this guy, in my head I'm like, this guy's joking. But I'm like, yeah, I want to see it. Yo, hey, yeah. He's like, okay. Then he's like, we're gonna have to go at the back of the house. Yeah, well. My sister's there too, Kesan. So if you think I'm lying, I have witnesses. We were a lot of us there. Because it's quite unbelievable when I think back. But so he's like, yeah, let's go to the back and then I show you. So my cousin, the ex-cousin, now he's a part of us now. He's no longer going back in the house. So they instruct, I think my sister went, they instruct my sister to bring towels and water because he says like his throat will be painful once it's done. The ex-cousin says that. So the ex-cousin agrees. He's like, yeah, bring water. And then he's like, bring a towel as well. So she brings these things. So we go to the back of the house, guys. We are at the back of the house. And I'm thinking, I hope my uncle does not think, oh, okay, let me check on these people and what they do, guys. But the guys, I think because they know it's soccer, they know but he will not move until that game ends or something. So I can see back. Then when we get to the back, my cousin, the ex-cousin, he instructs us that if we have anything tight on our bodies, we must remove it. So the bras, me and my sister remove our bra like here. Then I think I had an ankle bracelet, so I had to remove that. And so it's my two cousins, the S and the X, and one of their friends, Trick, and it's me and my sister. We have to kneel down, he says, the X. So we are kneeling down in a circle then. And then he's like, okay, so please be respectful. He instructs me now, but please be respectful. Don't speak English when you speak to this thing. Like, you have to speak with a lot of respect. And what else did he say? And then I asked him, what will happen if I disrespect it? Like, maybe I use English because, like, I happen to be a little bit of a cheese girl. And then he was like, no, you have to find closer words because he may get angry and then he may beat you up. And you will be beaten up and stolen, but no one will like see it except for us. What happened to you, Yabo? And I'm like, this is not real. I am so willing. Yabo? But I'm still curious, so we kneel down. And then he covers his head. Both of them cover their head. So one of them invokes it. But what I realized is how he invoked it was with a breathing technique. And this breathing technique was like, you don't breathe in like normally. You almost like something like that. Like, and then when he did that, that's when he invoked that thing. Do you understand? Hey, now he's acting different. Now the friend Trick, he is holding them almost like he knows how to like control the situation. He knows what to do. So he's holding them. So he's like, thing comes out, and the towel is over this thing, so it's not looking at me, like I can't see the face, but it turns to me, right? And he's looking at me, my cousin, and then this thing talks. But what I realized when it spoke, it was not his voice. It sounded like an old man's voice, and also it was speaking Xhosa that was a little bit, I would say it's probably one of the unofficial languages in South Africa, because we have 11 official languages but 13 languages that exist here, and one of them is Islubi or whatever, I don't know, but that didn't sound like Xhosa. It didn't sound like Xhosa. So now I'm panicking. So it says to me this thing, I hear you have invoked me. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, yes. And then he's like, so what do you want to know? And I'm like, my friend was telling me, did I was like, I was speaking Xhosa because I don't want to risk. And this thing is weird, man, like the way he's acting. And then he's like, and then I'm like, my friend said that apparently you help them out, you're not a bad thing to have in you, like in your body, and you are good. And then this thing, it replied to me, and it seemed like, now that I think about it in context, because as I said, I didn't understand that Xhosa, it seemed like a different type of Xhosa. And so it seemed like it was agreeing, but it also said something that I did not understand. So it is a weird situation, and like the way they are acting, my cousin also invokes it here. So their friend Trick has to control both of them. Yeah, but hey, my cousin, the cousin, he is acting even more wild. Like he is animal-like. He's more angry. And I'm like, hey boy, hey, I'm scared now. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, maybe I shouldn't have asked to see this. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So this thinking, it stops talking to me. So my cousin now is back. So now he is holding my cousin. The ex-cousin is back to himself. He's holding my cousin. And then they calmed down my ex-cousin before I could talk to it, because I didn't want to talk anymore. I think they asked me yes, and then I was like, hey, and then my ex-cousin calmed down again. Then when we were done and he drank water, he was like, yo, my throat is sore. And then he was asking me what happened. And I'm like, so you don't know what happened? He's like, no, Nakaloko, I was like backwards. That thing came in now and it took control. And I was like, what do you mean though? What do you mean you went back and it took control? So I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, it's almost like I was unconscious or I blacked out. And I'm like, what the hell? This is weird. But even when I look back now, I still struggle to believe that that was real, because I feel like they were pranking me. But if anyone out there has knowledge about this and knows that it's real, then please do share. But I am like, is that really real? Did that really happen? Was that really a demon, Amakhosi? And does it really help? I don't really think it helps, Una. I don't really believe it helps. I think those things are just searching for hosts, I'm not even saying it based on knowledge, but I really don't think that helps. So basically and we moved on, and then one of my cousins left, the other one slept over again. And I'm still thinking to myself, was that really real? Did that really happen? Do these things really exist? But you know, because of YouTube now and access to information, we've been hearing subjects about people about twalayo and Ndoni. So I'm like, maybe it is real, you know. It's crazy how, you know, nothing can turn into something and something can turn into nothing, you know. It makes sense now why Lauren Hill said everything is everything, you know. But yeah, that's my story, guys. I was scared. Even now, for me, they were pranking me. But I'm still scared. I'm still wondering, is it real? So please let me know in the comment section what you think. And yeah, that is my story, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you guys next time.